Negligent, said his lawyer, but unintentional. He beats himself up every day, said Mark Brayford. Why didn't I see the signs? Why didn't I stop? The simple, unfortunate truth is he didn't. The families who poured their hearts out in court today had few words left to give. Marilyn Cross lost her son Mark in the crash. She'd said she grieves for Sidhu and the guilt he must carry.
He's just a little bit older than my son. And he had to have a lot of courage to stand up and address us all.
Sidhu is a 30-year-old permanent resident, not a Canadian citizen. He came here from India in 2013. He was married 2 months before the crash. Any sentence over 6 months means he will likely be deported.
In addition to all the various criminal consequences, the sentence can and likely will impact on his ability to remain in Canada.
The Crown called the crash horrific, the consequences staggering. Thomas Healy said the victim impact statements must be weighed in this decision.
The court has a particularly difficult job as there is no sentencing precedent in Canada for a case such as this.
It is impossible to fully convey the sorrow that has followed these families in and out of this makeshift court each and every day this week. And now they're going to be traveling home and the grief will go with them. And Lisa, no sentence will change that fact.
They must be so drained after this week. Jill, do you feel, though, that hearing from the driver himself was in any way beneficial for the families in this journey they're forced to take?
There seemed to be a stunned silence in that court when the judge asked Sidhu if he would speak. And when he did, this terrible grief ensued when he talked about the boys crying out from the wreckage. And you heard sobs in that courtroom. It was just so emotional. And as the people came out, there was almost a sense of shock. Many didn't want to speak after. They wanted to process, they said, what had been said in the court. And now some will be believing that, that forgiveness is in order, that nothing will change what has happened here. And yet others are asking for the toughest sentence that can be delivered.
Such a difficult week. All right, Jill. Thanks for this tonight in Melfort. And we will find out on March 22nd if a judge takes the Crown's recommendation of a 10-year jail sentence. The full text of Sidhu's apology today in court is posted on our website at ctvnews.ca. There were no words of apology in a packed French courtroom today, as two elite cops, once considered heroes, were found guilty of gang raping a Canadian tourist, herself a police officer's daughter. CTV's Danielle Hamamdjian is in Paris tonight with reaction to the verdict.
Every day for 2.5 weeks, Canadian Emily Spanton heard French defense lawyers scrutinize her behavior around men and accuse her of fabricating a story. One that began 5 years ago during a trip to Paris, where she says she was gang raped by elite police officers. Most initially dismissed her claim. Today, a French jury ruled in her favor.
It's not important the private life of the victim. What is important is what happened if she agreed or disagreed to have a sexual relation.
The night began at this Irish pub where Spanton met off-duty police officers. There was flirting and a lot of drinking. She told him she too was a police officer in Canada, even though she wasn't. So intoxicated, she thought she'd be unable to find her hotel, so she accepted an invitation to tour their headquarters across the street, the prestigious 36 Quai des Orfèvres, featured in novels and movies over decades. These weren't just regular cops. They were part of a highly respected unit that stormed the Bataclan Theatre the night of the terror attacks in Paris. She went inside the building, jovial, thinking, she said, there would be a lot of people. By the time Spanton left the building, it was 2 a.m. She was in tears, in shock, and missing some clothes. She immediately looked for a female police officer and told her she'd been gang raped. An investigation found that text messages and videos had been erased from the men's mobile phones, but one message was discovered on the phone of a colleague who had received it. Hurry up, it said. She's into orgies.
This judgment is not fair.
Do you feel like you victim shamed her? You looked at her her behavior with other men. How is that relevant?
I don't want to discuss about her. I want to keep my energy for these men that are sleeping in prison, and tonight they are sleeping and they are innocent.
The two men are now facing 7 years in prison for something they say was consensual. Their lawyers say they will appeal the verdict first thing tomorrow morning. Lisa.
All right, Danielle Hananjan in Paris tonight. Thanks, Danielle. Newly released police documents reveal convicted killer Elizabeth Wettlaufer admitted to injecting a 15th patient with insulin that the public was never told until now. Wettlaufer said she injected a 77-year-old woman in a London, Ontario long-term care home. She wasn't diabetic or in her care. The woman was cremated, so investigators couldn't prove the dose is what killed her. Wettlaufer pleaded guilty to the
association that led Egyptians and Cushites to build.
But after 1100 BC, parts of Kush regained their independence, and by 750 BC,
Stay tuned. Weibaloo is coming up.
TSC.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. You do look really different from your LinkedIn picture, though. Like in a good way?
Curious, Mary lowers her rifle and turns to Robin.
Besides, you could have tried talking to me if you really wanted to. I guess we both didn't care.
Mary raises her gun and takes another shot at the target. Robin lowers her gun, defeated. Later, by the falls.
I can't wait to get out of this shithole.
Couldn't be worse.
How?
Northern Ontario?
Yeah, well, at least you get the natural splendor of nature without a town populated by people walking around in garbage bag jackets. Oh, no.
Who's this guy?
Hey, Robin. Haven't seen you around lately.
Fuck off.
Yeah, what she said.
Sassy.
Robin turns her back. The guy smirks and then moves on.
Who is that?
There's no one.
Come on, tell me.
Okay, I sent this guy I like to Snapchat, like, just for him, and he sent it to that perv, and he sent it to pretty much the entire school.
Oh, hell no.
Mary?
Mary runs up to the guy, grabs his phone, and smashes it.
What the fuck? You fucking whore!
No more titty pics for you!
Just go to sit.
After Mary flashes him, the girls bolt. Morning. Mary sleeps with an empty bottle of bourbon on the floor beside the blow-up mattress. Mary starts. Half asleep, she rolls onto her back, ignoring the phone. Finally stirring, she sits up and picks up the phone from the floor.
Hello?
Yeah, not sure if you took a look at the photos I sent, but the Watch for Children sign you hit is going to be an extra $1,800.
No, I didn't.
Well, you'll need to appear in court on the 8th, or they could issue a warrant for your arrest.
I don't think I can do that. I'm having a family crisis.
Look, I can push it, but you got to deal with this sooner than later. Oh, and I'll send you my invoice.
Mary runs a hand over her face. At AA,
God grant us to accept things that cannot change, courage to change the things that can.
Mary hurries in late and weasels herself in beside Lou.
And the wisdom to know the difference.
Hey, I need a favor. Okay. You know there are cabs in this town, right? You know that, right? No, I need a job.
Lou takes a deep breath, considers, and then nods. Later, Mary visits Lou in her motel apartment.
I do have a few private clients who don't need much. You just hang out with them, make sure they don't die.
Okay, what happens if, like, one of them stops breathing while I'm there?
Seriously? Call 911.
Right.
During a home visit, Mary and Lou sit folding laundry while the client sits in a nearby recliner.
Why don't orphans play baseball?
They don't know where home is. What about your sad-looking friend over there? She got any good ones?
Lou turns to Mary, who's caught off guard by the request.
Okay. 3 guys walk into a bar, right? One's Italian, one's Jewish.
She eyes the client.
This might be offensive.
Later, Mary and Lou sit across from each other at the diner.
I don't know how you deal with all that shit.
I'm just trying to give these people a little dignity at the end of the day, you know? I mean, I've been in some pretty fucking gutter places, but I brought it upon myself. I shit my pants once, I was so high. I don't know where I was. These people, they don't, you know, they don't ask for it.
Well, you're my hero. You should have a podcast or something.
So you should have more on your burger. That is like a pretty boring ass burger.
You really can't take a compliment, can you?
Let's keep my feet on the ground. There's too much love yourself, namaste shit floating around these days. I like some good old fashioned self-loathing.
Lou dips her fry in ketchup and then bites off the tip. Mary bites into the burger.
Are you drinking it all down here? You know, some tough cookies you're dealing with from the sound of it.
Oh, really?
Lou sips her drink.
Did you black out?
Nope, nope.
Lou carefully studies Mary across the table.
Because, I mean, I just told you that I shit my pants once, so not much can scare me.
Mary keeps her gaze downcast, her eyes focused on the burger in her hands. At Walt's.
It's the occasion.
Nothing, I just thought it might be nice for the 3 of us to have a sit-down meal together.
It seems oddly formal. What's going on?
Nothing.
Wow, you're a terrible liar. Can you just go get him, please?
He bailed on our driving lesson earlier because he wasn't feeling good, so I doubt he wants to eat.
Can you just check on him, please?
Robin leaves her glass on the counter and then goes to check on Walt. Mary adjusts the oven's temperature, and then she lifts the lid on a large stock pot on the stovetop and peers inside. Mary drops the lid and rushes from the kitchen.
Dad! Dad! What's wrong with him?
Walt coughs up blood. Robin hands him a tissue while Mary hurries to the phone.
Hi, I need an ambulance at 141 Bourne Ave, please. He's coughing up blood.
At the hospital, Robin's alone on a bench in the waiting room, her Parker bunched up on her lap. Mary rounds a corner and hands her a box of milk as she joins her.
I should have told you. How is it my place to tell you?
That my or your, whatever, our father has cancer, you don't think that's something you should mention?